Twitter derives its power and value from three communities that depend on it: politicians, celebrities, and journalists. Politicians and celebrities love that Twitter enables them to broadcast directly to around 238 million people without any gatekeepers. Journalists love that Twitter gives them an opportunity to build their personal brands while also revealing a consensus about which stories are newsworthy and which are not. For the rest of Twitter's users, it provides the illusion of direct access to VIPs who would otherwise be beyond reach. Trolls love Twitter because its algorithms often give their content disproportionate weight in the conversation. While it is tempting to characterize Twitter as a public square, the company is a profit-seeking business with priorities and business practices that have frequently undermined democracy, public health, and public safety. This was true well before Musk. We should not be surprised at how quickly and easily Twitter fell apart. Its flaws have been clear for years. Twitter has required thousands of hard-working people to keep the site running imperfectly. In its first 2 weeks of ownership, Musk fired most of those people and ignored the best practices for operating internet platforms. He appears to be winging it, supported by a team of venture capitalists and Tesla engineers who are either clueless and unwilling to challenge Musk or both. Reactions to Musk at Twitter are nearly as extreme as the new owner's behavior. On one side, you have schadenfreuders who rejoice at the notion of the world's richest man vaporizing $44 billion in the most public way imaginable. On the other are people who depend on Twitter: politicians, activists, celebrities, and journalists, many of whom view Musk's actions as a threat to democracy and public safety. They are not wrong. The original design of Twitter was elegant in its simplicity: a blank 140-character space optimized for broadcast messaging. The company positioned its platform as a site for microblogging, and the conversations that developed captured the public imagination. Monetization of microblogging proved to be a challenge, so the platform evolved in steps to its current model of unmediated broadcast to a mass audience. Monetization improved, but never matched Twitter's audience and cultural significance. Today, Twitter faces an existential crisis. Bankruptcy would not normally be a showstopper for a company at Twitter's scale. But Musk's approach to managing Twitter creates risk far beyond insolvency caused by a debt-heavy capital structure. Musk may be tempted to monetize Twitter's data in a manner that would have been unthinkable to his predecessors and remains so to users. For the people who care most about Twitter, the politicians, activists, celebrities, and journalists who practically live on the site. Life without Twitter is hard to imagine, but they need to do so. Replacing or replicating Twitter would be hard. Some journalists have flocked to an open source platform called Mastodon. Mastodon's advantages include distributed governance and federation. The downsides of Mastodon include a clunky interface, lack of scalability, and privacy issues. Politicians and celebrities have been slow to embrace Mastodon, recognizing that the platform was not designed for their use case, and mediated broadcast to millions of users. Politicians and celebrities crave a Twitter that works like the pre-Musk one, but with less hate speech, disinformation, and conspiracy theories. The challenge there is that advertising business models like Twitter's depend on attention, and hate speech, disinformation, and conspiracy theories are particularly effective at generating attention and profits. A safe Twitter based on advertising would be much less profitable, and one based on subscriptions would likely be far smaller, even if Twitter is not damaged beyond repair. There is no evidence that Musk would sell at a price that would enable a safe Twitter. Starting one from scratch would be challenging because of the difficulty of building a mass audience and finding the capital to finance it. This leaves us with two risks. Life without the Twitter so many have come to depend on, and an endgame filled with privacy and national security risks. So much for the notion that billionaires are always brilliant and wise.